Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah.
That's funny because Jane was into all the weird ayahuasca.
Yeah, stay away
And
from that
that's how
stuff.
that's how they control you through the
I
drugs.
want nothing to do with that.
But she's definitely a candidate. And her dad worked for the government.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it?
They pulled him out of Berkeley. Yeah, they were probably grooming her.
God only knows.
Sorab, oh my gosh, we haven't seen you forever. Hold on a second. We haven't seen Sorab. Oh, hi, Dan. Look, hold on, guys. I'm not recording yet.
Okay.
Hold on.
Being that we both at the
I
same
can hear
time.
everything you're saying. If we please tell. Okay. All right, guys. I just needed hi, Vicky. Vicky's with us too.
Hey,
Yeah.
Becky.
Now what I needed to do, there we go. I just needed to mute something, and now I'm really sorry about this, guys. Oh my goodness. Record on, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so hello everybody. Hi everyone. How are you?
Hello.
Welcome to the GoldFish Report. We are host and researcher Louisa. Today is Friday, August 29th, 2025. This is GoldFish Report number 1169, and it's our weekly food for the soul with our lovely team who joins us every Friday. Psychic medium Mark Christopher Nelson and his lovely wife Barb Nelson. Welcome back, guys. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too,
Good to be
Louisa.
here.
Good to be here.
Good to
Thanks.
see you, Louisa.
Yeah, we always have such fun, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Depends on the topic sometimes. Sometimes they're a little bit heavy. Like tonight's going to be a little bit heavy, I think.
I think so.
We're kind of didn't really plan it this way. We're all wearing black, and we just decided that it would be to mourn those kids that were killed over in Minnesota. It's just crazy, but we knew false flags were going to be coming because what do we have? We have Trump nationalizing the federal oh sorry, what do you call it? You just slipped my mind. National Guard.
Yes.
And it's in major
yeah.
cities. It's in major cities. So this is what I believe is for to quell the I think there's going to be uprising from probably a couple of things. I would say the first thing is going to be, well, there's indictments already happening as we're seeing.
Yes. Yep.
So there's going to be indictments, lots of arrests coming.
Mhm.
But also there's going to be, I don't know when it's going to be, but I do think it's very possible, it could be very soon, that we have a black swan event in the financial markets.
Yeah.
So a black swan event is an event that people kind of really don't see coming. But honestly, I mean, this market is such a huge balloon. It's a bubble. It's a huge bubble. And like all bubbles, they have to burst. But it isn't going to just burst as in a regular correction. We Trump told us all in his first inauguration speech that he wanted to create an even playing field with regard to trade. And in doing so, and to achieve that goal, he would be creating that would usher in a global currency reset. This way, countries couldn't manipulate their currency any longer. Sorry about that. Countries couldn't manipulate their currency any longer and have unfair advantage over other countries, smaller countries who have a smaller GDP. So, we have that I think is going to be happening soon. We also have this, who knows what this thing is coming into our solar system. And we're going to talk about that at another time, not right now. But this GCR, I mean, for people who are like, there's some news that I do have on this right now that I think I should just screen share for everybody. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is the wrong. Dan, Inger, Karen. Hi, Karen. Nice to see everybody in the chat tonight. I'm so glad you came by. This is something that just came. Actually, James Gilliland just sent this to us and sent it to me. I just received it. And this is let me screen share this so you can see what I'm looking at. Had to get it up there. Okay. Recording, I am. Okay. So this is from the Gazette, and the Gazette is the official publication of it's the Iraqis' official publication. So it's like their national magazine, right? It's like
Mhm.
our New York Times, so to speak. And the Gazette is saying that the QFS system is expanding rapidly as Trump's military engineers finalize infrastructure for the greatest financial collapse in history. Redemption centers are now active and quietly redistributing trillions in seized elite wealth to the people. Now, I don't really know, exactly when that's happening. It looks like it's probably going to happen soon. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, if people exchange their foreign currency now, um, and then we have the crash, it's going to have a haircut, or it might go up. I mean, if you know which currency you hold, it may revalue higher. But that's the whole purpose of the global currency reset, was to create that even playing field. So some currencies are going to revalue higher, and it regardless of whether we crash or not. Even if we have a financial crash, it's still going to revalue higher. Eventually it will stabilize. It will be one of the currencies that revalue higher, right? So the Iraqi dinar is one of them. So I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I do a lot of research on this, and I see a very big picture that, I know it seemed that way to me at first too, to think, well, it's going to revalue before it crashes, and then people will but quite honestly, it doesn't matter, because, you just might have to wait longer to get that revaluation. So I don't know about the redemption center situation. I really don't know about people who are exchanging. That's really not something I typically report on until, for good reason. It didn't happen yet. And so when I get the information that it's going to happen, then it's going to happen, because my sources, come, they're very good sources. So anyway, did you have a question on that, Mark or Barb?
Yeah, I kind of did because I mean Barb and we have some reserves in the event that things go badly. Both we have the cash, and we also have some savings. But how quickly can we accept? Would we be able to access it in time? How long? Just how long does this reset take? We have crypto. We believe our crypto is a very good hedge against what could be coming. And so it just makes me wonder, how painful will this be? I mean, if it is a black swan event to me, that says that there's all kinds of things going bad at a global level. If you're dependent on Social Security, or you have some other government benefits, do they stop? Are they having any worth? I mean, it just brings up a lot of questions for me. Have you heard, or do you have any sense of what timing, what happens in the short term, anything like that?
Well, I think Trump has ways of disseminating information, which is really what the whole Q operation has been part of. He and some cabinet members of that um, sometimes allude to certain events or certain timestamps.
Mhm.
They make a note, like
Mhm.
Dan Scavino will be driving in the motorcade, right? And then he'll take a picture of something that has a number, like very clearly in the center of the photo. So you go to that Q drop, and then it explains, and that's kind of how how it works. And so
Okay.
people can follow along and find out what's going on by following the Q drops, whether you believe it or not, but they are consistent, and they definitely do. They are there to disseminate information to people. So it's up to you if you want to follow that or not.
And
As
so
far
for
as the XRP and other cryptos, I mean, this whole global currency reset is also the time that they're going to flip the switch and change over to the quantum financial system, which is probably already running in the background, but it's not running publicly. So that has to become made public for the people. And that is going to look, the fiat dollar has really no value. We are going to that's why we have to do the revaluation based on new assets now. I mean, countries have been wanting to repatriate their gold. We have gold, other countries have gold, but and other antiquity assets and things of that nature that will be, and also raw minerals. Now, all of these things that ever, each country has, will be what revalues their currencies. So the first basket of currencies, those currencies are going to revalue higher. And unfortunately, the USD is not. So, I mean, the USD has no spending power, very little spending power anymore. But we are supposedly getting a new paper currency as well. Because remember, Q post said gold ends the Fed. So, this whole Federal Reserve System, at least to us, is going to look like it doesn't exist any longer. But we know that Trump rolled that over into the Treasury Department, rolled the Fed into the Treasury. Now you can see why Trump's trying to get rid of people, the Fed chair and all of this. And, it's going, what we're going to see 10% by the time Trump is done, our government is going to be 10% the size that it is currently. He's already done this. I mean, how many times did he already offer buyouts to right in the first month or two of his term, was offering to ask government workers to retire and offer them a package to take early retirement. So he is definitely downsizing, and the reason is because the quantum computer is going to be replacing a lot of these jobs. And a lot of these people don't pull their weight because they're government employees. And I'm not saying they all are, by no means am I saying they're all like that, but many are. And there's just like a massive redundancy, I think, in the in that within government. Just way too much government, so big, so big, like
Yes, I know.
and it's at some point every American's got to be like, I don't want to pay for this anymore. You're not being fiscally responsible. You expect us to be fiscally responsible. You expect us to repay our loans regardless of what cataclysms the deep state does against us. You expect us to be responsible, but you're not responsible. And then you hide all your money in these black ops projects that we never get to see or benefit from. So, I mean, talk about the hypocrisy, right? So the government, who's the government to speak, to talk when it comes to fiscal responsibility? So that's what Trump's doing. He's trimming the fat. He's doing a cleanup operation of getting rid of all these criminals. And I'm telling you, we're it's for people who haven't been really following what's been going on with that whole Russiagate and the fake election, the election coup d'etat, it's all going to come to the surface, and all of this, what's going to be exposed. It's not just going to be who did it, but the fact that there were so many people, who they were, and what they were willing to do to sell out this country. It's going to shock a lot of people. So let's move on. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I did have one, and then I also wanted to let people know that I'll take questions as the show goes along. But I did have a question. Where can people find the Q drops?
I think it's a Q drop hub or something like that. I'll look for it while we're doing the report, and then I'll post it.
Because I'd love to have a
Yeah.
peek.
I did put a note in the chat that anyone who was watching, that if you wanted to ask a question, to please. So I always do that in the beginning. I always put a little note, welcome everybody, and suggest that if you want to ask Mark a question, please type first names only in the chat. So let's see if we do have any. Vicky's there. Hi, Vicky. Mark. So Dan is saying, I'm trying to identify who it is who is attacking me constantly. Can you tell or describe who's attacking him? What do you mean attacking? Do you want to be more
Yeah, I'm not sure.
specific?
Is this a spiritual
Is
warfare?
is it spiritual? I think it really probably mostly is.
Um, all right. I get this visual of a man that he worked with that is backing away from him, and it feels like that there was broken, shattered relationship. I literally see this guy backing away from Dan, so it feels like someone that may have been a coworker or a how about an associate in a military operation or a government operation, and that it feels like that. I get a strong feeling that Dan had to pull back or separate from an engage from a project or an action. And so it feels like that the person that he was backing away from is saying not so fast. And I feel like that they're using a number of tools to harm him. So I would say be very conscious of protecting yourself. I feel like that this is a spiritual, energetic battle. I feel like that this guy feels like he's someone that I would call him a supervisor of sorts, is trying to create problems for you. So what can you do? I would say he would deny anything like that, but be conscious of any uh, as much as you can, like separate yourself, protect yourself, change. Um, don't be associated with some of the projects that or business that you've worked on before. Feels like everything you can do to kind of cover, delete, escape. That feels like how you escape.
Oh, that's
Sorry,
interesting.
that's
No,
not a short answer. Sorry for
no,
everybody.
that's okay. It's informative, and I think that's what, people. Sorry, I feel like my audio is not right tonight. Do you guys hear me
I
okay?
can hear
Yeah,
you fine.
we hear you.
Can you guys let me know in the chat whether you can hear me okay? Because I just feel like my audio is not right. I don't know. Feels
I
weird
do
to
feel
me.
like too that what Dan is experiencing. Barb and I were talking about this earlier. This spiritual battle
Right,
that we're all experiencing. To me, this Catholic school shooter is yet another facet of this huge problem where we're seeing people that are MK Ultra. They're using evil energy. Also, too, I want to remind everybody out there that if you are like either dealing with drugs or you know someone like this very horrible person who did the shooting, he was compromised in terms of like his ability to think clearly. He was,
right,
he had taken a lot of drugs. He was deeply depressed. All of those things make it possible for, I would call the enemy to take over and to influence your choices and decisions. So it isn't just like in the movies where go through an experience and all of a sudden your head is spinning around. You can be influenced very strongly. And so you can also, if like you're weak in terms of like anybody can get to me, anybody can influence me, you will be a much more likely candidate for who I would call the enemy to take over your life and start to cause a havoc in your day-to-day existence.
Wow.
Did I
Okay.
ramble? I hope not.
it's true.
Hold on one second, guys. Okay. So interesting. Who else do we have? I know we have someone else in here who has a question. Hmm. So Karen. Oh yeah, I see you, Karen. No problem. Nice to see you, Inger. Thanks for joining us. Surab Gupta wants to know if you can get, or if there's any messages from his dad, Mukesh, in spirit.
Lukesh,
Yeah.
I get this, Sirab, I get this visual where dad is like celebrating, hooray, hooray, something good comes to you. So it feels like that, it feels like that you've been, I get this visual like pounding, hitting, trying to make something occur. Then I get this hooray, hooray. So if you've been putting a lot of your time and energy into changing something, updating, fixing. Feels like that dad says that keep going even if you don't see the victory in it yet. I feel like that be very focused on the positive because I really get, he shows me that there would be a celebration ahead of you, something that you can take some solace and happiness. Okay?
Wonderful. Hey, we have Winston Strout in the house again tonight. Hi,
Hi, Winston.
howdy, Winston. Winston was my co-host on Country Roads. Remember my Country Roads reports, everybody? So it's nice to see Winston back visiting and seeing what's going on, Winston. How you doing? I love to communicate with people in the live stream. It's great. Um, Surab said that it could be passed because this month was good for him. So he
All
said
right, then that
he
would be
said
it.
thank you. Yeah. He said
Because
thank you.
dad, it's like, then say that dad knows that you've done something good. It's been a good month because I'm seeing him go, hey, wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
Yeah. Hey Vicky, thank you for checking on that sound for me. How are you, dear? You should how are you? You need to call me. I think of you every time I go in my garden.
Uh,
Oh, my garden is so much work. Oh God, I'm gonna pull it all out now. It's just
yes. Barbara
too
had a
much.
very interesting dream too that actually ties into some of what we're talking about.
Let's
It's
hear.
it's my Cherokee guide,
Oh.
the same one that came to me before the Hurricane Helene and told me to find somebody that will drum for Mother Earth because she's in trouble.
And
And
drumming is a form of prayer for those who
it's a
don't
form
know.
of prayer. And so I went to my friend Jane, who had traditional Indian drums, and we did a whole ceremony. And it's ironic because her area, Black Mountain, got hit the worst. But
Yeah. So
anyway,
that's
that was
mm,
the same guide, and he gave me a quick snippet of a dream, and it always involves eagles. And
mm,
I want to read you something about eagles in the Indian in the tribes. They're very sacred. Um, and the eagle dance, he always has on the eagle dance garb,
mhm,
and they believe that the eagles had supernatural powers, the ability to carry messages to the gods, and the ability to control weather, such as rain. That's ironic that he came to me before Hurricane Helene.
wow.
And they also, the eagle dance is performed when tribes seek help of a higher power or are in the need of divine intervention. The tribes perform the dance in the hope of curing illness, asking for rain, winning a battle. That's about my dream, and much.
Mhm,
So the dream was he was in the Indian garb, the wings, they emulate the what
mhm, the
eagle
bird.
looks like. They have the two eagle feathers.
Mhm,
And he showed me two eagles side by side, like they're very strong, like their faces were very determined, very strong. And I heard the word battle. It's for our country. We're about to
mhm,
go into
mhm,
battle for our
mhm.
country. And what the message was that we are strong and we will be going into battle for our country. And so that was the takeaway from it. So I can only think that there's going to be volatile things coming that we have to be strong for. And but we're ready. That was it because the faces of the eagles were determined, strong. They weren't in distress. They were ready to go.
I wonder if that has anything to do with 31 Atlas or 3-Eye Atlas. I don't know what they're calling it now,
Oh
but
yeah, that large.
yeah.
This was
What
this
yeah, I
this
have
was
a lot of opinions on
specifically
what that is. Yeah.
for our country.
I tend
Right.
to think that this is some of the battles that I've seen. I mean, we're going to see other events. I think that, I mean, I still feel like there will be terrorist activity. I am still concerned about earthquakes in California, and the idea with these quakes and these other events that people will take advantage of
Right,
the circumstance to rob, pillage, steal, kill. And so I am concerned. So I think being very aware of like making real good strong choices. Should I go here? Should I go there?
yeah.
Think about it, be conscious of it, And if it doesn't feel right, then
Then don't go.
yeah, I would say look at it carefully and reconsider even.
Mhm. We have another question. By the way, actually, Vicky has said regarding the family member that you're aware of who is currently detoxing, would it be beneficial to send her to Mexico for recovery or and healing?
I think that
And
being
Vicky.
closer to home, I feel like that she doesn't need to go to Mexico. I feel like that um, it just feels like the travel is external of the body isn't as important as the travel in the mind and heart. So I would say that learning to control and feel stronger where she is would be useful. The only thing that I see with if she did travel, I mean, it feels like that there could be benefits either way, but not traveling would probably be an easier approach to getting what she needs.
Okay. And I think there's some messages going on in that chat, everybody. So take a look. For some people in the chat, they're talking to each other. That's great. We also have another question. Inger. Hi, Inger. Nice to see you again. Can Mark sense a message from her mother? Inger, what's her name? You just put her first name in there. And I'm sorry, what is your name, hon? Atlantida? Is Jesus really coming back September 23rd and 24th? I don't know. I never said that was
That
gonna
one I
happen.
haven't been given any information on.
Yeah.
Inger's mother, I get this visual of her. It's like, oh, be calm. It feels like around if you're staying close to home, I'm seeing you take some time, relax, cooking. But I get this thing. It's like find peace within yourself. You don't have to go somewhere. I know it's not the same message. It's kind of similar to what I heard for Vicky's family member. But my sense is like I saw her relax, chop, but anything to me, it's like slow down and be present. That's what mom is saying. She also says if I was there, we would just be able to talk and hang out. She says, I am there. So just talk to me, relax, think about what we would do if like would we make a meal together? Would we do something like that? It visualize mom being next to you for that. And
Mhm.
seeing I literally saw you chopping and relaxing and being there, not going anywhere else.
Thank you for that. I don't have any other questions at the moment, I don't think. If I missed you, please retype it because I'm having trouble with my glasses without seeing seeing the messages. So God, I gotta get
Oh
new ones.
gosh.
So I have to get new ones. So no, I have to break down. I mean, you do at some point have to realize if you need
Yes.
bifocals, just get them.
Yes.
It's
Just get
it's
them.
hard to break
Readers.
down. Come on, reader. Yeah, no, honestly, the readers don't help me because I
Huh?
only need it because I don't need it for reading, but I need it like on the computer.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, because I wear glasses like all the time, but I'm actually nearsighted. So,
Okay.
but I can't see it. It's not that near. So anyway, let me see what else we have. So right now, we also have Tulsi Gabbard exposing the document that was responsible for the censorship. The CIA, the DOJ agencies were
Mm.
uh, reaching out to all the social media platforms. Remember during the elections, Trump's first election, uh, actually they've been doing it since and telling them to censor certain opinions and to some people were actually being attacked. I mean, some people were actually really being physically attacked, like even arrested if they made comments about Hillary Clinton or somebody else. Like there was real, I mean, folks, the mainstream media just does not report what goes on.
No.
They're not going to.
No,
Can I give
And that's the problem, is that they're doing a disservice to the American people, but it's because of their overlords. I mean, they are owned. They are a captured operation.
I
So
can
they're not working for us. Yeah, Mark?
sorry, I didn't mean to it just forgive me. I'm not trying to talk over you. I'm trying to support what you're saying. I was recently in Los Angeles, and while we were there, my brother and I went to go to a movie theater. We were going to go see a movie. Haven't seen in a while, so we thought he never gets out, so let's go now. And when we get to the theater, we see a whole group of police cars all positioned, cordoning off this restaurant. And we're wondering, what was that about?
Mm.
And so I didn't put anything together. We saw and heard nothing in the news that would give us any insight. And then on my way home, I'm sitting on the plane next to an LAPD policeman, and we start comparing notes. And it's like, oh, you're from this town. I'm from the same town. Oh, okay. You went to this. His kids are going to the same school I
Mhm.
graduated from.
Oh,
Then
cool.
he asked me, "Did you hear about the almost mass shooting that occurred at this mall where we were going?" And it turns out that this shooter, who had hundreds of rounds of ammo on him, went into a
Mm.
restaurant and fired 7 shots, and then his pistol jammed, or his AR, his assault rifle jammed. He panicked and he ran. So the police caught up with him and apprehended him without him killing anyone. But if his gun had not jammed, he could have theoretically, sprayed hundreds of rounds in a pretty busy mall. And I would have been there
Interesting.
2 hours after the fact.
But that was what day, Mark?
This was last Thursday.
Yeah.
So, and what I'm getting at though
And
is
since
that
he didn't succeed at that, then we
no,
had two other people, two other uh mass shooters, right?
yeah, but
And
well, just to your point, it wasn't. I mean, you didn't hear about it. It's like
yeah.
my mom watches the news all the time. They're pretty heavy on the news
Mm.
digest, but
Mhm.
we didn't hear anything about an almost mass killing event right next to us. And it makes me think, okay, what else is being kept from us?
Yeah.
The other events, like to your point, are we not getting told about?
Right.
And it's scary, but I mean, I could have, I mean, it would have,
Journalism, I think real journalism is dead. I mean, and in all fairness, I mean, a lot of journalists are dead because of what, they
yeah.
have been. So it's almost impossible to really do your job when you have a retaliation because the truth is going to reveal somebody's criminality.
Yep.
Somebody's doing something they shouldn't do. Someone's doing something illegal, unlawful, unethical, immoral.
Hmm.
And that's the reality of it. I mean, whatever. So we have some more questions for you before, because we're going to continue on this story, Barb. I
Yeah.
think you have something you wanted to add on that, but let's see if there, we have Deanne, I'm sorry. What does it say? Uh, Deanine? Okay, I think it's Deanine. She says, hello, or he, oh, maybe he, I think, actually. Hello, can I ask Mark if my father, Clyde, crossed over from a head-on auto crash? Does he have a message for me? Hmm.
Uh, Clyde says, yes, I passed. He says suddenly, abruptly. Um, he says that I lost consciousness immediately. He says that, oh, all right, I get this. I don't know if I'm seeing, all right, who has the little dog? I don't know if it's dad or the gentleman, but he says, I'm with you. I'm seeing him hold what looks like a little pet, a little dog. I don't know if someone has a dog. Um, Dad says that I made the transition rapidly, immediately. I'm sorry for everyone. Um, he said that there's a box that he had everything he needed to share. I'm thinking it's like his estate, how everything's supposed to be done. He says, I think I left it in pretty good order. I hope that that makes sense for you. And know that I hear your prayers. Pray for each other. You will get through this. And he says, I'm, I'm I'm making my way. I'm okay. The pain was almost a blip to me. It was the sense of loss that hurt more than that, but I'm understanding where I am now and I'm okay.
Okay. We have Winston. asking a question. He wants to know if the shooter in LA was trans.
Um, Very good question. What I would say is that they said he was a veteran. That was all that was reported. Um, I do get the sense that
Hmm.
I'm going to hear that it was. I mean, it wasn't reported or hasn't been discussed. He was a veteran. It makes me think that he had a problem. He was a veteran who quit in his 20s, late 20s. So it makes me think that there might have been some gender dysphoria involved with this. Um, I just feel like that it's just another cover up. And Winston, I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you. I want to talk to you more. I know that you're probably one of the most interesting people I'll be talking to anytime in the near future. But as for the shooter being trans, it hasn't been reported. Um, it feels like it fits, unfortunately. And
Mm.
that's just my sense. I haven't seen a report,
Mm.
so um,
Okay.
that's what I know.
Yeah, Winston is one of the most interesting people on the planet. I mean, he is somebody who's everyone should know his name. And when you do, you'll know why I said that. I can't get into all the details right now, but
Yeah,
um, what's interesting is that the first thing you said was that it was a veteran.
yeah,
Now, the problem with that is that that's not fitting their narrative.
no.
And that's why it wasn't reported in the mainstream media. When
Yeah.
these things happen and it's not part of their narrative, they do not report it.
Well, the policeman showed me a small article, but if this could have been a mass murder event
Mm,
in the San Fernando Valley,
mhm,
in a big suburb of the largest media center in the country,
mhm,
and it ranks like a little report like this,
mm,
it seems that it was the story must have been covered up, squelched. Um,
mm.
if someone has, maybe I missed it, but I was there and we listened to a lot of news and nobody discussed
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Winston says a veteran knows how to clear a jam. So maybe,
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
yeah,
Yes, sir, Winston. And he wouldn't have panicked and run across the street, which was what happened with this person.
yeah. So something's not adding up. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
something's not quite adding up. That's a great question, though, Winston. I'm glad you asked that question because, that's you have to start looking at the anomalies as to why one event would be treated differently than another one. So, Barb, what did you have on that, or on the one
On
in
the shooter.
yeah, on the one in
Well,
Minneapolis.
what
Yeah.
was it, Minneapolis? Yeah.
yeah, the information that I gathered was about the fact he was basically demon possessed. And
Hmm.
you can tell if you watch, they tried to take down a lot of his Instagram posts and all that, TikTok and all, where he had all his weaponry out in front of him, and he wrote on one of the cartridges for the little children or something. And
Yeah. Is it the one where it says kill Trump or something? Or I'm going to get
yeah, he had another.
and,
Oh,
and you know what the mainstream media is saying? Motive is unknown. Really, well, it's written
no.
right on the weapon
And
itself. How can it be unknown? But
he
that's how
was
mainstream media is, and it's
They
just
lie. They
they
lie.
he was
lie.
also a fanatic about serial shooters like that.
Yes.
And while he was filming and he's looking at all, he's like cleaning the cartridges with the bullets,
Mhm.
and he touched like one of his weapons, and he actually said, "My precious," like from that movie, The Lord of the
Lord
Rings.
of the
He
Rings.
said, "My precious." And he said it in that kind of a voice. And then he quoted what a little child said when Adam Lanza shot him. The little boy said, "But I don't want to be here." And then Adam Lanza said, "Well, you're here now." And so this guy said that. He said the little voice, "Well, I don't want to be here." Oh, well, you're here now. And so he was like,
That's demonic. That's evil.
yeah, no, he was like possessed.
There was a photo. Actually, you know what? I have it right here. This is really creepy. I mean, I have to say, that this person drew a picture of themselves,
Right.
Looking in the mirror.
looking at
There.
themselves in the mirror, and the reflection was a demon. I'm going to show it to you. I think I reposted it, so let me see if I could find that. I think we do have another. Oh, Sunny is in the house too.
I
Um,
see.
Hi, Sunny.
yeah. She said she's had a few poignant dreams of her parents, and she's wanting to know if you could tell what the message, what message are they trying to get through to her?
Um, oh, I got this thing, Sonny, where it's almost like I feel like they're trying to nurture you. They're trying to be kind to you. Um, oh, uh, you've got something. I hear that there's something locked up. I'm not sure I understand the locked up, maybe more metaphoric, but I feel like that they're both trying to get you to be out and be seen in um, among people. But I feel like that they're saying you've got something locked up, unlock it, unlock yourself, unlock the idea that you can. All right, if Sonny, if you want to hit me up after a text, I know Sonny, but I just get the sense of being locked up and that it's important. They want you to, let yourself go, be more free, and we can look at that more offline.
Okay, I'm going to share this picture. This is it here. This is the
Yeah.
drawing from Robin Westman, the Catholic school shooter, and had in his manifesto, he saw himself as possessed by a demon.
And he's using Cyrillic language,
Yeah.
and he was saying like a demon was, what should I do? Like kill yourself?
Yeah, kill yourself. Yeah.
Oh boy. I wonder if that could be like voice to skull, or if he was,
So,
I don't know, there's other
there's
comments I have.
one other important aspect
Mhm.
that it's really important for these people because what they do, in the MK Ultra, they use drugs, of course. In his case, they used all the hormonal drugs. But they basically there's trigger words or visuals that send them off, and but he was also wrote that he didn't feel right about this.
Yeah.
He felt bad. He he didn't like what he was going to do. And what that is saying is that even though this demonic presence has taken him over, right? There's still the God connection within them that it's there trying to get out. And that's why he wrote, I feel I
Mhm.
don't want to do this. And, you know, and they find that with a lot of these
Mhm.
shooters that they think about what they're about to do.
Mhm.
It's like this battle from within them, the demonic and the God, connection. And so he had that, and I guess the demons won, but
Well, there's people, watching who know about that if they want to comment on something like that. Any opinions from those people? So, anyway, I have some more information. Bella, may I ask? Sure, Bella. Will you get your border collie back? Is he okay? Had disturbing dreams of him back in March. Did you lose the dog? I guess you lost the dog, right? Because you're asking if you're going to get it back. Mark.
Is she gonna get her? I'm not seeing the border collie coming back. This point, I feel like that it's been um, adopted or taken on by someone else. I don't think the dog is dead. I think it was taken. It was a beautiful dog, and I don't feel like it was um, killed. I don't feel like that was the. I get very relaxed. It's like I see it running, playing. So please be at ease. It doesn't help you in your loss, but the dog is not suffering.
Oh, thank God for that. Boy, I don't really like to hear that about the
No.
animals. Yeah, no problem. Deneen, no problem. We got you covered here. This having Mark on the report is really important. And he
Thank
really has something totally different to offer than what Scott had. And honestly, when it comes to things that disturb you on a soul level, that's, when you can be comforted,
you.
that's huge because there's very little in this world that can really comfort people on a soul level. And that causes a lot of discord, depression, anxiety, and it's unsettling, it's worrisome, it's always lingering. But I'm telling you, the first time you get a message from your loved one who's on the other side, uh, it's absolutely it's almost instantaneously healing. It's
Mhm.
almost like everything that
Yeah.
you've been suffering and feeling, everything that you have been grieving and remembering and worrying about. And, as soon as you get that message, knowing that the
Mhm.
consciousness is who you are, it survives the body.
Mhm.
Then it's almost like this instantaneous healing that happens. And there's absolutely nothing that kind of peace,
Mhm.
is really sent by God. That's,
Yes.
through
Right.
Mark, through
I'm
Mark.
I'm just a messenger. I feel like I'm just this connection between God and someone that is important for you to hear from.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy trying to do the best work I
Right.
can,
Yeah.
but it's really about allowing God to work through me and then your loved ones wanting to reach you.
Yeah. Dan has another question. Are the Yuma lion people coming to Earth soon? I don't know. Boy, that's a big question.
The
Um,
Uma.
Uma.
Uma
Or
Lee.
Irma. I'm sorry, Irma. See, I can't see. Yeah. Irma. I was close. What do you think about that?
You know what? Dan, if I told you I see like two Irma people there, I get this visual of two very distinct, bright, kind of different people that
Uh,
want to say they shapeshift. I feel like that there are two of them here, and it feels like that they're if it has to be that they're planning, they're looking, they're being boots on the ground to investigate. So I see literally two of them. I don't see thousands of them. I see two, and it makes me think that they're working at their own time and pace, but they are looking to bring other people here, other beings.
Interesting. So so Winston says if trans dies, the demons just go looking for another host. Yeah, that's unfortunately the truth. That's true.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so Barb, did you have anything else on that, or we're on that topic? Because
This
I had something else to add to that, but I didn't want to cut you off.
it was just that also too his father had ties to the NSA and his
The
mom
shooter.
and
Yeah.
yeah, the shooter and his mom was a teacher at that school. So there I mean this fits with the whole MK Ultra.
Yeah.
It's like a family affair, you know,
Well,
because they
mhm,
get you very young
yep.
and yeah, and some people turn it down. They get disturbed by what they're getting into and they say, no, I'm not going to get involved with this, you know.
One thing too, let me just add, and then I'll let you
Sure.
run with
Hmm.
your. It's like I would say we've all seen a number of trans shootings. They have been responsible for a lot of them. Uh, and then if you bring that up, politicians, the enemies, will say, "Oh,
The
you can't,
trans
you
community.
can't attack the trans community." My question is, should we be affirming these people who turn in a significant number of them seem to have very violent um, episodes connected to their transition. Should we be affirming them, or should we be treating them? And this question, this thought, is not an attack on all people. This is a question. And it is important that we can't just allow, I would say, the enemy to dictate what we can and cannot talk about related to this. Uh, Too many people say on the Democratic side, or even there may be some Republicans too, that are concerned that, we need to control guns. I think we need to control mental illness because, and that we have to look at what is contributing. I mean, if you see this consistent problem where you have trans shooters attacking innocent people, how many do we have to see this? How many times does this have to occur before the media and certain people in the government permit us to discuss this? I think it's a farce and a joke, and they're covering this up. We have to ask ourselves, why are they covering this up? Why do they not want to have that discussion?
Let me just share something with you all. This is the book called Behold a Pale Horse by
Oh, yeah.
by Bill Cooper, William Cooper. You can see I have many pages marked here. I also have it on PDF, and I wanted to share, screen share an excerpt from the book. Where'd it go?
I want to get that book.
Hold on. Oh, second. Here it is. Okay. So one of the chapters in the book. Wait, I'm trying to find my Zoom window. Hold on. I got so many windows open. Where'd you go? Here you are. Okay. Here, let's screen share this real quick. That's it right there. So this is one of the pages, and this is on the chapter called Secret Government. If you look at the second paragraph, hold on a second. You say, I'll just read it. The government encouraged the manufacture and importation of military firearms for the criminals to use. This is intended to foster a feeling of insecurity, which would lead the American people to voluntarily disarm themselves by passing laws against firearms, using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Orion. The CIA inculcated the desire in these people to open fire on schoolyards and thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. This plan is well underway and so far is working perfectly. The middle class is begging the government to do away with the Second Amendment. So, Bill, for those who don't know, William Cooper was a naval officer a naval intelligence officer rather, who came across all of this information. I mean, he documented this, made copies of these documents that he was processing or dealing with, or whatever. Says here, the author's note says, I found these events have indeed happened all over the country. Now, let me just give you the Bill Cooper was murdered for exposing the truth. This is the copyright on this is 1991, folks. So they were thinking of doing this back in 1990, even before 1991, because that's the copyright on the book. It says here, I have found that these events have indeed happened all over the country. In every instance, I have investigated the incident at the women's school in Canada, the shopping center incident in Canada, the Stockton, California massacre, and the murder of Rabbi Mir Kahan. I don't know. The shooters were all ex-mental patients or recurrent mental patients who were all on the drug Prozac at the time, right? So this drug, when taken in certain doses, increases serotonin levels in patients, causing extreme violence. Couple that with post-hypnotic suggestion or control through electronic brain implant or microwave or ELF intrusion, and you get mass murder, ending in every case with the suicide of the perpetrator. Exhume the bodies of the murderers and check for the brain implant. I think you are going to be surprised. In every case, the name of the murderer's doctor or mental treatment facility has been withheld. I believe we will be able to establish intelligence community connections and our connections to know CIA experimental mind control programs when we finally discover who these doctors of death really are. So, this is a whistleblower who risked his life to
Bring us
well, he obtained, he copied these documents, and he was a good man. He wanted to do the right thing. And he wanted to make sure everybody had the receipts. And that's what's so important in this book, is that it shows the receipts. It shows actual documents that I had, had copied and things of that nature. And there's a lot more in that too. And then it goes into schoolyards. It goes into even more detail than that. But that is unfortunately the reality of having a deep state shadow government. This is who Trump is fighting. I mean, this is the military
Mhm.
industrial complex. For those who aren't familiar, at some point, everybody really has to take that red pill, because if you don't, you're going to have to get the suppository. And I can tell you the red pill is
Uh,
far more comfortable than that suppository is. It really is. I mean, the suppository is huge too.
Well, just back, when are we allowed to ask the question, should we be in affirming or treating? Are we allowed to ask that question? Is that a red pill question?
Yeah. Yeah, you found Scott was really good at that. Yeah, exactly. But this is what Barb and Mark are good at doing. Winston is saying Scott bound three demons who were terrorizing people on the Navajo reservation. The two of them capitulated, and the other Scott sent to source. So, but you guys,
we
what do you
don't,
guys, I mean, I know you guys do paranormal stuff with homes, but what about like people who may actually be like possessed and stuff? What do you, or do you also, you
we
know,
don't do that.
you don't really
Well,
do that? I mean, a lot of pastors of churches do that. Like they'll do,
Right.
I don't know if you want to
We,
call it an exorcism or whatever, but yeah.
it's very complicated.
one of the
And
things I can tell you though is that, to Barbara's point, I don't think we, in our years of investigating, dealt with an actual demonic presence,
Mhm.
but we found evil. And
right,
so there's a difference between, what is it,
demonic.
being possessed and
Mhm.
then being oppressed. And
Right.
Right.
I feel like that there are evil entities that may not step up to the level of being demons, but we have felt that there is like inexplicable evil things that we've run into that can only be explained that this, if it's not demonic, it's evil. But there are certain and I promise, I don't have any desire to deal with demons.
No.
But what
Mhm.
we've always done is when we go into a home where there may be uh, negative energy, negative spirits, angry, unsettled spirits, we
Mhm.
always say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave this home.
That's it.
Of our own, we're just two
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
but we have to go in, and I have to say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave. And then we have to have
I,
faith in
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Right.
I
Mhm.
just heard a statistic
Mhm.
that demonic possessions are on an all-time high right now.
Well, I mean,
They're
is
keeping them.
CERN bringing them in? I mean, there's,
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. I think that CERN
yeah.
Hadron Collider is causing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's
And is
bad.
mental illness, are drugs,
Yeah.
are any kind of, I mean, I enjoy a
It's a
cocktail or
gateway.
two,
It's a
but I don't
gateway.
think I compromised my self-awareness. So there's this book, Deliver Us from Evil. It was written by a policeman who worked in
Mhm.
um, the drug trade. He fought the drug trade in Ralph
Mhm.
Sarchie is his name. Ralph Sarchie. He wrote a book, and what he discovered is that he was going dealing with people who were involved with drugs, and then he saw that, oh, I'm seeing satanic or
Oh yeah.
demonic activity intertwined with the drug use. And
Mhm.
so the idea is if you are a home and the homeowner is tied up and bound, it's easier for the criminal to get in and take over. In this case, it was drugs that were binding the arms of the homeowner, and demonic energy was getting in through the use of drugs. And you see, this is where Ralph is, I follow him on Facebook. Ralph Sarchie, his book was turned into a movie, but the whole idea is that his premise was deliver us from evil.
Mhm.
And so, how does evil get in? Evil gets in when you're not strong enough to recognize it, fight it, and ask for God's help.
Right. Um,
Yeah.
the drugs, there's doors. They're called doors. They get in through
Yeah.
doors.
Mhm.
Alcohol is one of them. Drugs is another one.
Sex.
Greed isn't,
Sex,
like there's all
greed.
kinds of things. Okay. So Winston's also saying Scott used the Seal of Solomon to the six-pointed star to bind the demons. So if you know
That's
how to do
interesting.
that, yeah.
I got to talk to Winston. Winston, if you hear me, I've just
He's
been
a cool
traveling for
guy.
my mom,
Yeah.
and I'm back home.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of throw out a couple things too, that there's interdimensional spirits, and I think we're starting to learn more about that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I think we had somebody from the DoD, was it, who acknowledged that there's, interdimensional spirits and stuff. And, we are in the age of disclosure. Trump is going to be the disclosure president. This is going to happen
Yes.
for Trump. There's good ETs and there's bad ETs. There's good spirits like angels and guides, and there's bad spirits. So, discerning is, I think, the key too. But we can all be, we can, if we get caught up in ourselves and not really introspective. I mean, it happens to everybody. You could you could be dealing with a demon too, like even at a coworker. My gosh, I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of that in the workforce. But Elon Musk has classified clearance, and he knows a lot of things about this disclosure process and project, these operations of the stargates around the world, and that's what we went in to get. One of the things we went in to get during the Iraq War. Quantum light, wormholes, all kinds of string theory, plasma energy, electromagnetic energy, all of this stuff is uh, there's supposed to be no more embargo on the truth. I mean, this disclosure is supposed to come out. So just see what else I wanted to say about that. As you can tell, they're talking about the Anthony Weiner laptop and what's on there. All this stuff's going to come out. The indictments are going to happen. And they were talking today about how they can't necessarily, like the mob, like they couldn't get them on all these other like charges of murder and all this other stuff, but they could get them for tax evasion.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing, is tax evasion is how you kind of
Like Al Capone.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So but this is gonna, the police looked at these computers and the stuff that's on there. Yeah, I'm not gonna describe it, but I can tell you that you may never be the same again
Right.
once you see or
Right.
even hear what was described on that tape. You will never question whether there's evil on this planet. You will never question whether there's demons inside of people. If you were to hear or see what was on that laptop, you would never, ever, ever question, ever. And for those who do, some
Let
don't.
me add to that. Barbara
Yeah.
and I have been in places where there were serial killers. The energy is such that this is real evil. This is,
It's
and
scary
it's scary, and
because it's powerful
it is powerful and persuasive
and
and
it's
attractive and sneaky and
and it sneaks up on you.
Mhm.
And if you're not strong in your faith and your commitment to each
Mhm.
other, if
yeah.
you're in a if in a relationship, if you're not strong that way, it can overwhelm you. And
Armor of God, right? Put on the armor of God. Um,
yeah, you have to have the
yeah. What's
God.
Winston saying here? Casting out is not binding. It only makes them leave, but sometimes they come back. Okay, okay.
Oh
And
yeah.
But
I
Trump
would say
seems,
that we've had to do that more than once. So
yeah, yeah.
I have to pick his brain about
Mhm.
how to bind them. But
Right.
because
But
we've had people, negative spirits leave,
mhm,
and then we can, by all measures and all sense that I have,
mhm.
and Barbara's electronic equipment, we see
Yeah, Barb.
as a suppression of
Mhm.
this energy.
Yeah.
But then it has
You
been
should
known
have it on,
back.
Barb. Yeah. Barb, you should bring it every time we do a report and see who
Uh,
comes by. It'd probably be going off every time, right?
Yeah, in
That would
fact,
be really cool, actually. I don't know another podcaster that does EBP, or what is it called? The
EMF,
EMF meter.
meters,
electromagnetic.
yeah.
We should
But
do that.
we've been having contact over the past 80 years. I mean, there's ETs underneath Earth, inside of Earth. There's interdimensionals. Um, there's some people call them demons, but um From what I read from the Book of Enoch, not everybody died in that flood, you know.
Yeah.
There were survivors, and you know, there's some people who went to inner earth and all of that. So, but it looks like, mark my word, you're going to see Trump on the Joe Rogan podcast. Even though Joe Rogan swore he was never going to have Trump on, he's going to come on.
Nice.
It's only, you know, that's what I'm saying. He's going to say he didn't know anything about it. How could he not know anything about it when Uncle John, you know, had all of Nikola Tesla's papers, and Nikola Tesla was in contact with other entities from
Yeah.
other places. So I don't know how he could say he doesn't know, but that's what he's going to say, I think. Because otherwise everybody would be like, well, how come you didn't tell us? You know, why are you only
And
telling us
and
now?
Barron Trump's a time traveler.
Well, according to
That book, there's that book
that what's it
about Barron.
Ingersoll Lockwood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all that stuff's going to come out. I just had some intel stuff I wanted to throw in there, but as you could see, John Bolton's home was raided, and all these high-level executives, almost everybody at the CDC walked out and was protesting today. Did you see that in the news?
No, I didn't.
The
Well,
mainstream media is not going to cover it because they wanted to. So the one director of the CDC, or assistant director, was very pro mRNA, and so
yes.
and there was a few other you know, higher level people who really were well, I'll just say this, they were also pro mRNA, and so they resigned, and everybody who is within the CDC came out in protest in support of them. And I have a feeling Trump's going to fire all of them. So, you know, it's you know, let them cut their nose to spite their face, you know, because
Mhm.
people are pushing to stop this mRNA. I mean, I haven't even reported on this in quite some time because it is so disturbing, but you know, it's very disturbing to see the amount of death and disability,
Yeah.
the sterility of the population.
But
You
can
know,
I add
this
something?
book, by the
Let me
way,
add, let me just throw something out real quick
yeah,
while you're looking.
my book.
As far as I understand, why is that there used to be vaccines used like a live virus or a live germ
Mhm,
in order to have your body react to it and then build your immunity to
mhm,
measles, mumps. Well, somewhere along the line, doctors, researchers said, hey, you don't need to take the risk of having a live um, can
yeah.
cells of a disease in your body. We can have the same effect with mRNA, or if I'm
Mhm.
not, if I'm mRNA.
Messenger RNA, so mRNA,
Messenger.
yeah.
So they
Mhm,
think the messenger RNA is a less risky
mhm,
approach versus the way they
mhm.
used to do vaccines.
Yeah,
But now we're finding out all these things that it is not less risky,
yeah,
and they're trying to put it in everything. So
yeah.
and also
They're
too,
really
I can
putting
tell
to
you
our food as well.
there's a lot of big pharma that is trying to push this upon us.
Mhm,
And if they really were honest about trying to, I mean, there are really good doctors and good people I know involved in pharma
mhm,
that believe that it's too risky to take these drugs. But the truth about messenger RNA has been suppressed, and now we're finding out why it's so bad. So
mhm,
it's going to come down. That's why it's there, and
mhm.
it wasn't there before. It was
Right.
supposed to be a better replacement, but it's not.
This book details the depopulation agenda. Sorry, but that is why this is happening. Because
Is
the elites said there's not going to be enough resources for them if all the humans are eating it or using it, or
right.
you
Yeah.
know, so you know, they're so psychopathic you can't even imagine. But Winston also said Tesla was a Venusian, which we knew. I mean, and his belongings after he died remained in the office of alien or alien custody. So yeah, that was from those files, those no, it wasn't the JFK files, but it was some other file dump that was that the CIA, you know, put on their website, the government put on their website. Yeah. So we're actually out of time, unfortunately. There's so much to talk about, but we're just out of
Um,
time. And you know, we only have one hour, really. We already went over time a little bit, but It was a depopulation agenda. It was an agenda to sterilize humanity and to kill. Now, let me just explain something about Trump's role in this that I think a lot of people don't understand. Operation Warp Speed. I I don't like it, bothers me too, but this is what happened. The elites already had this
Right.
planned.
Hmm.
The deep state, I will say, the deep state had this planned, and they had a plan to use very toxic, very deadly vaccines. So under Operation Warp Speed, it was Trump who wanted to get the emergency use authorization, which would mean it was not mandatory, but it meant that they had to suppress the ivermectin, and that's why it was suppressed. Even though Trump did go on live, during a press conference on live television and say that hydroxychloroquine and these other things, you should give that a try. I mean, he said, give that a try. You could see how uncomfortable he was. He knew he was sticking his neck out because there was nothing that was going to stop this vaccine depopulate this whole thing. Trump is just the president. I mean, he doesn't control everything as much as you think. And the deep state still has a lot of access to very deadly weapons and very, and money and processes and things that could still cause a lot of harm to people. So under emergency use authorization, Trump expedited the manufacture of saline vaccines. And from what my sources are saying, this is a source I have. This is journalism. This is a source. Okay. My source is saying this is why Trump got the emergency use authorization, because otherwise it would have been made mandatory by the deep state if Trump didn't get in. It would have been
Wow.
made mandatory. It would have, or if Trump didn't do the emergency use authorization, it would have been mandatory. We would have been exactly what happened down in Australia. They put them in FEMA camps. This would have been
Right.
far worse. They or what do they call it? Quarantine camps. You could call it whatever you
Yeah.
want, a lipstick on a pig's still a pig, right? So so Trump didn't, it was the least, it was an intervention that he it was Biden who mandated this, who made it mandatory for companies with certain number of employees or whatever. It was Biden who made it mandatory that, government offices, right? Or government spaces or whatever. But did you notice that it was all the politicians who were exempt from the vaccine?
What about the
Right.
post office too? Why was the post office exempt?
Sam.
Exactly. Well, Winston can answer that question now. This is how
He's
you would know Winston. Who is Winston, right? Like, Winston, do you want to answer that question? Why would the post office be exempt from this federal mandate, or this I would say government mandate, because it wasn't a federal mandate. It was a government mandate, and then the corporations decided to implement their own mandate. Um, you know, depending on the company, Um,
I can guess that they needed to collaborate with certain people in the deep state, and so they didn't want their numbers to be diminished. That would be part of
yeah.
it. But I'd love to hear Winston.
they needed the post office to handle all the fake ballots.
Well, that's
That
one
too.
thing too. The Postmaster General is actually in a very powerful position, and
Yes.
this is right up Winston's alley. Let me tell you,
Oh
the
man,
right
what is
man
he
in the
saying?
house is here. He's in the house to ask this question. He is the man to ask. So I'm sure he's typing. So let's give him
Oh,
time to
okay.
type his
Wait.
answer because it's a chat. So let's just give him a minute to answer. Let's see. Yeah, so I is everybody like, does everyone understand what I'm saying about
Yes.
Trump?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Trump that made this mandatory, okay? It
No.
was, and the CDC, did the social distancing and all of this and all that. Fauci, let me tell you, what we have right now, and while we're waiting for Winston, I'm hoping Winston is able uh to respond to that. I'm sure he's texting something right now, typing rather. But there was something else that I wanted to show you. before we sign, I'm sorry, we're going over a couple of minutes late, but basically so as I said, the overlord's plan with COVID is its vaccine was to decimate the human population. We know this because Deagle, who was a military contractor, had years ago published what I suppose what the targeted goal was to reduce the population, and it was by country. And of course, like 100 million people were planned to be killed by 2025, or I think by 2025. So, these are nefarious people. I mean, we really are living with, with these people. But Warp Speed was a race against time to take the poison vials out of circulation and replace them with harmless placebos, which is why there's a lot of people who nothing happened to them, right?
Yeah.
That's very, very, we don't know. But sadly, some people did get the poisonous shots, and many lives were saved because many people got the placebo vials instead. It was a mad dash to create and produce the harmless ones and get the poison ones out of circulation before they were all dispensed to the unsuspecting public. So that's basically the story with behind all of that. And there was something else, but let me go to the chat and see what if Winston's got back. He didn't. I hope you got that, Winston. Why would the Postmaster General, or why would the post office rather, be exempt from the vaccines? Why do you think that was? Because I think he's probably typing. Just send me what you got so far, Winston, and then just finish. If you're typing a message, just send what you've got and then finish it in the next one if that's what you're doing.
Well,
Because I'm not quite sure.
can I
Not
just
quite.
say, hey, if people want to find me for reading,
No, I'm sorry. We get so caught up in what we're talking about,
but
Mark.
we, while
Mark.
I know it's fascinating, I'm happy to read. By the way, I think very much in part to Louisa having me and Barbara on the show, I'm finding that I'm getting clients around the world, and I'm very grateful for that. So, I really am. But here I am if you want to come see me
Yeah.
or at the meeting,
MarkNelsonMedium.com. Yep, is where you are.
and I can do.
MarkNelsonMedium.com. Mhm. I'm sorry, I don't want to talk over you, but I was trying to get the address out there. Can you
There
guys
I
see
am,
that?
marknelsonmedium.com,
Yeah.
and
And here you can go, and there's just these pop-ups that keep, oh my God, sorry. There's these pop-ups that keep coming up.
that's
And I don't
for
even know. I
special
know,
offers.
but if I get one more pop-up on this computer, I'm going to throw it out because I've
Gonna
lost the
pop
whole
it.
Just
thing.
go to readings and
There we go. Okay, readings, gifts. You can give this as a gift to somebody, special offers, testimonials. So this is where you go, and who knows who that is. But
uh,
you've been on many programs, coast to coast with Jim Norrie, Gaia TV. Wow, that's interesting. Beyond Belief. This is wonderful stuff. And of course, the Goldfish Report. So
yes,
that's where you're going to find Mark every Friday, God willing, right?
yes.
So let me see what we have here. Yeah. Well, thank you. Yes, it did give him peace. So Bella said, thank you, Mark. Your message did give me peace. Hope to contact you when you're able to through your website. Love this channel. Everyone have a good night. Thank you, Bella. Appreciate that. Winston
Thanks,
says
Bella.
Benjamin Franklin, the first post office general, and a Scottish Rite Mason too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess that's the answer to the question, right? So that's why. So in these false flag shootings too, when I say false flag, it doesn't mean nobody died. It just means that it was
Right.
done for an agenda.
Right.
It was not the event is 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 um is a scripted event, in other words, in order to achieve
Yep.
another agenda. So that's as they said in this book, that it was to, the American people, well, no, the American people are not rushing to have our Second Amendment taken
No,
away. So
no.
they were wrong about that. And that's how arrogant, that's how psychopathic these people are, is that they really think. And this is the problem with money. I mean, this is what Jesus said. I mean, it just corrupts people,
Mhm.
or the love of it, not that money does, but the love of it. And it was the power that came with it. It
Right.
wasn't simply just the money. It was the power and the access, and you know, the ego that went along
Yeah.
with it. And that's really what destroys everything. So everybody, thank you so much. It was great seeing everybody in the chat. I was so,
Hey, Louisa,
yeah,
I have one really good food for the soul
sure.
statement. A study reveals ice cream is a healthy food, and its consumption protects against heart disease.
All right. Well,
That was not approved by the CDC. Not approved by the CDC.
well, guess what? Then I had my dose today because I had a coffee fagato before I came here before I did my show tonight. And that's basically vanilla ice cream with a scoop of I mean a vanilla ice cream with a shot of espresso on it.
Don't feel
And
guilty.
that is so delicious.
Yes,
So leave it to the Italians. I'm sorry.
have your ice cream.
Everybody. Yeah, the
Take
founding
care.
fathers were all Scottish, right? Yep, they sure were. So thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you everyone in the live chat. We had such a nice live chat tonight. I want to thank you all for being with us, and we'll see you all next week on the Food for the Soul. So thanks for
Bye,
Bye,
joining us. So
everybody.
this concludes this edition of the Goldfish Report.